There's a kind of ache that follows you, isn't there? A hunger that never quite feels fed, no matter how much you consume. Love, knowledge, experience, success, sensation. It's like an echo that keeps returning, whispering that there's something more you should be chasing. Something just beyond reach. But this hunger isn't your enemy. It is the raw pulse of evolution moving through you, disguised as dissatisfaction. When you mistake it for emptiness, you run faster. You keep feeding it what you think it wants. More stories, more stimulation, more moments that promise fullness, but fade just as quickly as they arrive. You've built entire identities around this longing. The explorer, the seeker, the romantic, the one who feels life more deeply than others. And it's true, you do. But in your quest to escape the ache, you've also learned to run from stillness, to fill the silence before it can reveal what you're truly afraid to hear. Hunger, in its shadow form, is insatiable because it's rooted in the illusion of separation. You've forgotten that what you long for is not out there, waiting to be caught, but in here, waiting to be remembered. Every new experience is a mirror reflecting you back to yourself. Every disappointment is a teacher whispering, "You were never missing anything." Yet you keep chasing the next thing, don't you? The next love, the next high, the next realization, the next chapter. You've even tried to spiritualize the chase, turning your hunger into a quest for enlightenment, thinking that maybe transcendence will finally fill the void. But even that becomes another story, another performance for an audience that doesn't exist. The deeper truth is that hunger will never be satisfied by the world. The more you feed it from the outside, the louder it roars. Because it's not asking for stimulation. It's asking for surrender. It wants you to stop running and let it burn you clean. You must be willing to sit in the ache without fixing it, to feel the longing without labeling it as wrong. Because when you do, something begins to shift. The hunger stops being a curse and becomes a compass. It begins to show you what is truly alive for you, what experiences open your heart rather than fill your mind. You begin to see that what you call hunger is actually the spark of your soul, reminding you that there's more to life than comfort. It's the call to adventure waiting to be accepted, but first, it must be felt. So stop trying to silence the ache. Don't numb it with distraction or disguise it as ambition. Let it move through you like wind through flame. For when you finally allow yourself to feel the full depth of your hunger without feeding it, you discover that it's not emptiness at all. It's the yearning of the infinite within you, aching to taste itself through you. And the gift of adventure begins the moment you stop running from your hunger and start listening to it. When you finally realize it was never a void to be filled, but a doorway into aliveness. This is where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Not because the world changes, but because you do. You start saying yes to the unknown. You start living as though each moment could surprise you, and it will. Adventure is not about climbing mountains or chasing novelty. It is about risking your identity for the sake of truth. It is about meeting each experience with an open heart, even when it hurts, even when it dissolves what you thought you were. Dear one, you've been trained to seek safety, to plan, to control, to predict outcomes. But life has never wanted your control. It's only wanted your participation. It wants you to dance with it, to move where it moves, to follow the pulse of curiosity rather than a map of certainty. The gift of adventure is trust embodied. It's walking into the dark and realizing that the light you seek travels with you. It's always with you. And in that space, something miraculous happens. You stop needing to know what comes next. You stop grasping for meaning, and you start becoming meaning itself. You become the explorer of your own unfolding. You start to see that every encounter, every detour, every heartbreak is an invitation to deepen into the mystery of who you are. Life stops being something to figure out and starts being something to feel. The gift of adventure asks you to live with an undefended heart, to fall in love with uncertainty, to remember that there is no arrival, only deeper layers of the journey itself. And when you embody this, others around you feel it. Your courage becomes contagious. You awaken the explorer in them too. Not because you tell them to change, but because your presence reminds them that life is not a problem to be solved. It is a story to be lived. The more you live this way, the more fluid you become. Plans may crumble, but you don't. Expectations dissolve, and you discover freedom where you once saw failure. Adventure is the art of letting go again and again. And when you finally stop trying to control the story, the story reveals its magic. Do you remember? And then, when adventure ripens fully, boundaries dissolve, and you see the highest expression of boundlessness. And in boundlessness, you stop seeing yourself as a traveler in the world. And you realize that you are the world, traveling through itself. Boundlessness is the moment you wake up to the truth that you were never separate from the journey. You were the journey all along. And here, the hunger that once drove you now becomes a sacred pulse that connects you to everything. You no longer need to chase experience, because experience itself becomes you. This is freedom beyond effort. You breathe, and the universe breathes with you. You move, and life moves effortlessly through you. You begin to see how absurd it was to think that you were ever lost. Every misstep, every mistake, every craving was simply life trying to remember its own wholeness through your human form. Boundlessness doesn't mean you lose individuality. It means you no longer cling to it. You can play any role, speak any language, love any form, and still know that you are the ocean beneath all waves. The human in you may still ache. It may still long. It may still stumble. But the awareness behind it smiles, knowing that every expression of limitation is just another dance of infinity pretending to be small. This is the laughter of God through human lips, the sigh of the soul realizing it has always been home. When you reach this state, even adventure transforms. It becomes play. Feel this frequency in your body. In this frequency, everything becomes sacred. Every glance, every breath, every silence, here, dear one, you stop trying to live a meaningful life. And instead, you become the meaning itself. Can you feel it? Do you remember? Boundlessness is not a destination. It's not somewhere to go, something to achieve. Boundlessness is the realization that there was never any boundaries to begin with. And now, breathe. Through this journey, you've tasted the hunger, the ache of longing, You've learned to walk with it, to let it lead you into adventure rather than addiction. And you've glimpsed what it means to dissolve into something greater. To realize that your very existence is the adventure itself. Here in integration is where you bring this knowing home. This is where you learn to live the infinite in the finite, the vast in the simple. And you won't always feel boundless. Some days you'll slip back into hunger, into grasping, into trying to control again. But now you'll remember that that doesn't mean failure. It means rhythm. Life expands and contracts, just like your lungs when you breathe. And so do you. But now, you know the truth hiding behind the ache. You know that hunger isn't punishment, it's invitation. It's the stirring of your divine appetite for more of yourself. So when hunger arises again, smile and whisper, "I see you." And then allow yourself to follow where it leads, not out of desperation, but in devotion to yourself. You've learned that adventure isn't about chasing freedom. It's about being freedom, even in uncertainty. It's about meeting the world with curiosity instead of fear, with wonder instead of control. You, dear one, are both the traveler and the terrain, both the question and the answer, both the hunger and the fulfillment. Boundlessness does not erase your humanity. It sanctifies it. It teaches you to love your limits as the edges where infinity learns to touch itself. So live with open hands. Let every ending be another beginning. Let every longing become another doorway. Because this life, this fragile, fleeting, beautiful life, was never meant to satisfy you. It was meant to move you. And through that movement, it awakens you to who you've always been. Remember? The adventure never ends. It only changes shape. And you, beloved wanderer, are the one who carries it all. I love you.